It's time for another episode of the Joshcast. Da 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 da. Joshcast. Da 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 da. Depression. Da 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 da. Cookies. Da 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 da. Joshcast. Today's intro has been sung by famed singer, songwriter, actress, and business owner, Linda Samueltini. Linda, thank you for singing the opening theme for the Joshcast. You're welcome. It's really great to be here. Other than the fact that I feel no joy, it's still pleasant. You gave me a bottle of water, and I appreciate that. I'll remember that. I'll remember you. So, Linda, I understand you're starring in a new film that's going to come out soon. I want to talk about it. Yes. It's a biopic about the man who designed the Honda Civic. I play his secretary. I don't have any lines, but I have a few good looks that you can totally see as long as you pause the DVD player. Do people still have DVD players? Yeah, I think so. It's a few people still have them. Well, that's good, because it's only coming out on DVD. It's not going to be in theaters or streaming or anywhere else. It's just, I think the guy who made the movie is just going to print them on like 100 DVDs and sell them, hand them out, give them to people, pay people probably to pay a few people to watch it, to review. That way they can write a review in the newspaper. Do people still read newspapers? Sure. Yeah, they do in certain places. Yeah. So Linda, how are you doing in life? Are you seeing anyone right now? Yeah, I'm in a relationship with death. Excuse me. Yes, I'm dating death. I'm sure that's just a pet name for the person that you're dating. Nope. Death. So in other words, you mean a guy walking around wearing a hood with a scythe? I mean, like, Adam Carolla in Family Guy as Death. Is that what you're saying? This is? Yeah. Although he sounds a bit more like Alan Alda. Okay. I didn't know that. This is sort of changing my whole concept of how the entire universe is working. And that does this mean then, if there is a death, that there is a God, and that the Judeo-Christian model of the universe is actually the correct one? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. I just know that he drives a Prius because he's big on being silent. And, it's going okay. I don't know. He's a fan of 1950s beach music. The Beach Boys kind of, we're on the beach and we're having fun music, and I'm not. I'm more of a 90s Seattle grunge kind of lady. So there's been that there's been a lot of him threatening to kill me. Well, Linda, this has been great. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate you being on the Joshcast, and we'll probably have you again. I hope you do. I really do. I really hope you do. I really needed this bottle of water. Thank you. I'm gonna be rationing this. Thank you. Well, that killed some time. How am I doing? Well, I'm beating myself up because there was this guy who came in last night, homeless guy, veteran, who was I don't know. I think he's nice, but just not quite there. And ended up getting into one of the shows and was heckling people, and everyone else was handling it. I didn't have to say anything, but I felt like because he had just come through the auditions and I had just talked to him earlier that day, I needed to go up to him and say, listen, you can't heckle. And I fear that I came off too mean. And I was in a place of anger when I was talking to him. So now I'm feeling guilty about that. I guess I should point out that this is not me doing a sketch. This actually really happened. Or maybe I don't need to point that out. Maybe you can infer from the tonality of my voice that it really happened. So anyway, I'm getting off on this. The point is, now I feel guilty about it. And I think for me, I have this worldview of if I ever show anger, I'm in the wrong. And, the older I get, there's a part of me that thinks maybe that's bullshit and that maybe sometimes it's okay to be angry. But then I think, well, would the Buddha be angry? Wouldn't the Buddha have compassion? And then I want to say, maybe I don't want to be the Buddha. Maybe I want to be just a regular person who is, good enough and nice enough, but in certain situations, maybe anger is useful. Can I say that? And then I feel guilty about thinking that, and I go back and forth like this for a period of 72 hours-ish until somebody externally tells me I'm a good person and I believe them. And that is how I go through my day. My week, if you will, because as I said, it was a 72-hour process. And I think at the end of the day, the other thing I've learned is that anger never works. That people don't learn, people don't change from that. They'll end up doing the same thing over and over again until you got to just either kick them out or they get better. Sometimes they get better, sometimes they don't. So that's the world of comedy, if you will. Which is depressing. And then I tried to get up on stage and talk about it, and that didn't go well either. I came off like a dick because I shouldn't be making jokes about homeless people. That never works. At least not for me. And it is a rampant problem. It's getting to the point where I'm seeing the same homeless people over and over again at the coffee shops that I go to. And I'm sitting there getting angry about it. And why am I getting angry about it? Why do I feel this anger? Well, it's fear, for the one thing. Because sometimes I wonder, how bad are things going to get before the people at the bottom just start killing everybody? That's my thought. I mean, what's preventing that from happening at this point? So there's fear. Then there's the fear of, what if I'm homeless? Because I look at some of these people, and, it's not like, the vets are the exception to the rule, is what it feels like. I'm not seeing so many of those. I'm seeing young people who are homeless. And I don't know if it's that they're on drugs or what, but I'm just sitting there going, I think you're younger than I am. What's going on? How is this possible? And it's possible because I just have... It feels to me like we're living in the veneer of a civilized society, or the illusion of a civilized society. And it's false. It's a society that is better than previous societies at pretending not to be savage. But deep down is just as savage as medieval England. And for all we know, maybe medieval England was less savage than we are. I'm beginning to wonder. say what you will about any of the Henrys, they did not have the technical ability to kill the number of people that we do. So they may have been just less savage by sheer lack of tools. Depends on how you define savagery, I guess. But, at the end of the day, am I doing anything to help? No. No, not really. Am I donating money to the homeless causes? No. Am I offering to get something for these people? No, I'm doing nothing. So, who am I to even comment on it? So then I feel like a total dick, and this is part of, and then I kind of drive myself into a depression, which I'm on the way today to doing, and then we accomplish, and nothing gets accomplished. This will be the first podcast where I actually gas up. We'll see how this goes. Now, what's weird about it is that now I'm outside the car, and I can't tell if people, I guess anybody looking at me is going to think that I'm just talking on the phone, which is cool. Maybe that should be how I proceed, so I don't feel so self-conscious, and go from there. I don't have a PIN. It wants me to enter a PIN. You're telling me I can only do the ATM on this? I want to do the credit card on this thing. So now I gotta hit cancel. And now we gotta do the PIN. See cashier? What? I don't need to see the cashier. Pay here, debit. Oh my God. Why don't they let me pay credit? I don't understand that. Oh, and they're gonna add the fee. That's why. Well, this day is just going from bad to worse. And how horrible is it, by the way, that I just spent a few minutes talking about the homelessness situation, which is a serious problem. And now, when I have to use the credit instead of the ATM, I say this day goes from bad to worse. So I think you're understanding here how out of touch with reality I really am. That is what is happening in this moment. But seriously, why couldn't I use the credit card at this gas station? I want to know the answer to this. I don't want to use the debit, I want to use the credit. I want life to go my way. Why can't life go my way? Just for once in my life, why can't life go my way? Oh, speaking of which, let's talk about resentment. Let's move to that one. Saw this guy who I used to know, or I still know. It's not like he's dead, or it's not like I don't know him anymore. And if I didn't know him anymore, how would I be able to say that I used to know him? At any rate, I just saw he got a lead in a big movie, and so now I'm feeling jealous. Jealous, guilty, annoyed. It's not even 9 a.m. yet. We are on track. Now, hopefully, apparently this gasoline is detergent gasoline. I don't know what that means. I think what it means is it's probably just as destructive as all the other gasoline. But because we think it's safer or cleaner, we come here more, and then we are. It didn't give me a receipt either. I've never used this gas station before. I'm concerned. You're getting quality You're getting quality, top-tier gas and value. Top-tier gas? Sounds like top-shelf alcohol. Isn't gas just gas? I mean, is it like, I don't know, does it have to be distilled or something? What top tier? Gas should be gas. It should all be the same thing. This is luxury gas. This is craft gas. What's your name? My name? Hi, I'm Mick F. That's my name. I see. Is it short for something? I don't know. I was watercoloring when I came up with the name, and that's why I chose it. It was the name that came to me while watercoloring. Mick F. Okay. And what do you do for a living, Mick F? I run a craft gasoline shop. Craft gasoline. Yes, that's correct. Craft gasoline. Instead of, you go to fill up your gas, you go to fill up your car, you go to the typical gas station, you're getting low-level gas. You're getting mass-produced gas. I create craft gas. All of our gas is locally sourced. I have a little drill in the back. I've struck oil here in Silver Lake, and I make that from that oil. I generate craft gas. It's got a little bit of ginger in it. Then I'm working on a new kind of craft gas that also has a little bit of hops. And really, there's a difference. And if the only time you should use non-craft gas is if you are consciously using non-craft gas for the sake of making a statement, an artistic statement. Then you should use it. If you're using it ironically, once in a while, maybe once a month, maybe that's fine. Just to make a point to your ex who left you for a stenciler. Hey, question, when you say stenciler, is that the correct term or is it stencilist? I don't know, dude. I don't know. His name was Bryce. He stencils. And Sheila left me for him. I did the whole craft gas thing for Sheila. I did it for Sheila. And this is how she repays me. Screw this interview, man. I'm walking out. Yeah. I think Linda was better at the interview than that. I feel like it's weird to talk about the homelessness situation and then talk about the fact that the gas pump doesn't take credit. Why do you not take credit? I would rather use credit than debit. That's still bothering me. I want that choice, Sheila. They should warn you when you're driving in. Hey, we only take debit. And they charge a fee on the debit? Oh, that is major BS. Joshy not happy. So what I should do, here's what I should do. Let's be proactive here. How can I help the homeless? All right, I want to challenge myself. How do I challenge myself? How do I help the homeless? Do I donate money? And does then that am I doing this to make myself feel better, or am I doing this to really make a difference? How could I actually make a difference helping homeless people? Should I go person by person? Should I give them money? There was, where I used to live, there was this lady who kept asking for money, and I started to give it to her, and then every single time she saw me, I would give it to her. And it got to the point where I felt like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do, genuinely. Because I guess I could have always kept giving her money until I didn't have any money to give, and that just could be the way to go. Maybe that's, if everybody did that, maybe that's how we would solve the homelessness problem. But on the other hand, that doesn't feel... I don't know if it solves the problem. And I don't know... is it my responsibility? I guess I feel this sense of not... I'm thinking this is not my responsibility. And I don't... But is it my responsibility? This is what I keep going back and forth with. Maybe it leads to a question of morality. Now we're getting into Sartre, who refused to be a guest on the show. But then I asked him again and he said yes. So ladies and gentlemen, Jean-Paul Sartre. Hello! I'm Jean-Paul Sartre. I don't know if that's what you... Are you sure you sound like that? I am sure. I am Jean-Paul Sartre. I am a writer, a philosopher. And I wanted to thank you for giving me this delightful bottle of H2O. You're welcome. I always try to give a water bottle to every guest. I didn't get a water bottle, man. And I'm making craft gas. You didn't give me a water bottle. Well, you kind of stormed out before I had the chance to offer you the water bottle. You could have followed me. Man, Sheila all over again. Who is this Sheila? Ex-girlfriend. Left him for a stencilist. Is stencilist, is that a word? I don't know. Do you think it's a word? I do not know. What I do know is that no one cares. Especially not any kind of deity. So if you want it to be a word, it is a word. If you do not want it to be a word, then it is not a word for you. Well, all right. I'm at my destination. We're nearly at the end. I was supposed to get to talking about desserts. I didn't get there. I was sidelined by the end of human civilization as we know it, and by the fact that it didn't take a credit card at the gas station. This podcast is brought to you by Kraft Gasoline. It'll give your car a mustache. Metaphorically, that's the slogan. It'll give your car a mustache metaphorically. Kraft Gasoline. It's also brought to you by the new movie that Linda is starring in about the man who designed the Honda Civic. And the name of that movie is The Man Who Designed the Honda Civic. And it is also brought to you by Jean-Paul Sartre, who would like to give this following message, that nothing matters and that we're all going to die. And notice how I artfully avoided really asking myself, hey, Josh, right here now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to help the homeless? Maybe listen better. So if they ask for something, maybe give them what they want instead of being philosophical and seeing what happens. So that's my plan. Yeah, we'll go from there. Feel like this could use a stronger ending. The podcast was a bit longer than usual. My goodness. How do I bring this podcast to a close? How do I bring this podcast to a close? I'd like to bring it close with a big laugh. That's what I want. I want to bring it to a close with a big laugh. What would be that big laugh that would do that? This is what always gets me every single time. What would be that big laugh? All right, well, let's not focus on the laugh. Let's focus on saying something true. What's one true sentence? I feel better since I stopped eating sugar. That's my true sentence. I'm not getting as sick to my stomach since I stopped eating sugar. Are you happy? Are you happy, world? I hate it. It's a sugarless, miserable existence, but I do feel better. And I might have more energy. Maybe. Don't quote me on that, but I might. And maybe I could see how this could make me better in bed. All right, this is enough. I'm done.